Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. There has been crazy news in the market. Alexander Isak have handed Newcastle transfer request. Mad. When you imagine what the club has been passing through in the course of this transfer window, they are unable to get most of the players they have pointed their fingers to, and then they are only able to get Elanga. Now they are doing all these things with the mindset that they already have a standing striker. They already have a very good striker in Alexander Isak. But imagine what happened. The player just handed in another his transfer request now. It's mad. It's crazy. They were not expecting it, because I could remember a few weeks ago, Liverpool requested from Newcastle if they would be willing to sell the player, which they turned down immediately and going for a Ekitike. Look at the madness. Liverpool now then went to Frankfurt to get a Ekitike. That's the same target of Newcastle United, and they came back. Could this be grudge? It could, because Alexander Isak is the main striker of Newcastle United. In fact, the other number 9 player, I remember his name during the course of the video, is out of contract with them. Is the only standing line that Newcastle have. So could it be because they were going for another player, he has decided to hand in his transfer request out of the club? Let me read this message from Fabrizio Romano. You know, it's crazy. He said, Alexander Isak has informed Newcastle of his desire to explore a move this summer. Club aware of players' plan and will now decide how to move. Newcastle have already restarted exploring a move for a top striker in the market. This is crazy. Where is the top striker in the market? The only player that I feel like Newcastle have been trying to go for is Ugo Ekitike, which Liverpool have just signed. Now, the only player that they are relying on has decided to hand in his own transfer request by himself. As of yesterday, Alexander Isak is training alone. He's training like, what is happening? What is happening? Let me read from Ben Jacob. What exactly is the reason why the player decided to hand out his own transfer request himself? You often see players do this when maybe they have a club who's coming to sign them, and then maybe they want to explore their own option, and because of that club. Now, this is not the case for Alexander Isak. No club is knocking on his doors at the time he handed. Of course, he's aware of Liverpool's approach, but in this level, no. Let me read from Ben Jacob. He said, Chelsea know their name is... No. Let me read. Now, this is the cause. This is the main reason I felt made the player to hand in his own transfer request himself. According to Ben Jacobs, Alexander Isak told Newcastle he wants 300k per week, as reviewed on TalkSport. Now, last week, not a number Newcastle can match. Newcastle cannot play Alexander Isak 300k a week. Now, Swedish strikers' preference is to leave, and Newcastle are exploring other attackers in case a suitable offer arrives. And despite the club's consistent known for sale stance on Isak, Leipzig, Louis Openda, and Brentford's Johan Wissa, 2 names targeted. Brentford seeking 40 million plus for Wissa, Newcastle preparing a new bid north of 30 million pounds. Crazy. He wanted big money. He decided to leave when the season is about to start, knowing that he have a very reliable suitor in who? Guess. Liverpool. You cannot convince me otherwise. They have just discovered oil block under Liverpool's stadium. You cannot because how much exactly are they planning to spend? After getting Ugo Ekitike 95 million, they are still going for Isak. Something is happening. We need to check Liverpool very well. They just discovered one oil block, I'm sure. Let me go and read why I'm speaking in this manner. Understand, Alexander Isak remained a target for Liverpool even after signing Ekitike, but depends on Newcastle. Now, Newcastle doesn't have a choice again. He has handed in his own transfer request himself. If Newcastle open door to an exit and LFC sell theirs, they can bid after direct contact made 10 days ago. Isak not in concrete talk with Al Hilal so far. Now we talk of PSR for Chelsea. This is where PSR is needed. For Liverpool, there is something. I know they just won the Premier League. You understand? But you see, this spending is significant. If I'm not mistaken, Liverpool have gotten replacements for even players that are still in their squad. I remember Frimpong has been signed from RB Leipzig. There's Kakes from Bournemouth. Ugo Ekitike, third. They signed one more player again. I'll try to remember. They have signed about 5 players this transfer window. And then it's crazy. Now, what will happen in this deal? What will happen? Now, let me read from Ben Jacobs also, because now he's now talking about the Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea are going for the player, because now see, who no go want sign Isak? Which team in Premier League would not want to buy? I am sure every player are checking their wage structure, and seeing how they can switch, how they can make this thing happen. Now, let me read from Ben Jacob what he has to say concerning the interest from Chelsea's angle, which is most important to me, because do I need Isak? The truth is, if Isak is coming to Chelsea, why not? Am I crazy? Now, Ben Jacob says Chelsea know their name is often used to drive up prices and refuse to be used as an auction tool for the players they don't plan to bid for. No approach to Alexander Isak so far this summer. There is faith in Liam Delap, Joao Pedro, and Nicholas Jackson. In fact, I wish I had not mentioned that name, that last name. Club are working on Xavi Simons and appreciate Alejandro Garnacho and Morgan Rogers. Hold that thought. We are going somewhere. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea are not working on Alexander Isak deal and no interest in proceeding, despite reports. CFC very happy with their strikers and fully focused on Xavi Simons and Jure Hato deal. Now, the club working on Isak deal was, is and remains Liverpool. Now for Chelsea, is there a possibility of we snatching the player? I'll say yes and I will say no. Now, if it's based on interest, I said it before, no club will not be interested. It's only a mad club that will not be interested in Alexander Isak. But the problem I'm thinking for Chelsea, the reason why it might not be possible, is because of our wage structure. As I've reckoned and that we know of recent time, no player in Chelsea currently earns more than 250k. Every other player earning more than 250k are currently being shipped out of the squad, not allowed to play, loaned, or in fact sent on an exile. That is what is happening currently. That is the reason why I feel like, okay, probably Chelsea will not be going for Isak. Now, there is a possibility that Chelsea can come and snatch the player dying minutes. Why do I say that? History has made us to understand that Chelsea know how to go through the back door and switch and snatch the player with a record fee in a very few minutes. It can be like within 24 hours, the player agrees personal time and is signed. See, the truth is, if you don't sign players of this caliber, there is no top player that is coming to your club that is not going to be asking for that record fee as wage. No player. This is the same reason we could not sign either Gyökeres, we could not sign Osimhen. Yeah, good and fine. We have gotten Joao Pedro, we have gotten Liam Delap. That thing miracle, like I'm expecting. I want Chelsea to sign Isak. It's the truth. I want Chelsea to sign Isak, and then if it's going to happen, I will be very, very happy. Let's stay tuned and watch. Another video will drop again concerning this Isak, so I don't want the video to be very long, but let me know your reaction concerning what I've just discussed so far. Do you think it will be a good addition for Chelsea? Because now the record is saying that he's going to Liverpool and Liverpool alone, but of course we understand how the transfer window can work. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Kindly follow us on YouTube. That's where we post our long videos. On Facebook, you get the link on the bio. Same for Instagram, same for TikTok. Kindly like and follow us. Switch on your notification bell so that when our subsequent videos drop, you'll get notified. Thank you and do have a wonderful day.